Hello, Now Playing listeners. I'm Arnie, producer and co-host of Now Playing Podcast. I want to thank you for listening to Now Playing, keeping this show going strong, coming up on our 15th year of doing retrospectives starting next year. And it's because of listeners like you and supporters of our podcast that keep this show going so strong. Thank you to you all, members of our Facebook group. The interaction there is great. Thank you so much. I want to come and do a quick video. This is kind of a follow-up video. If you saw our previous one where we talked about our Podbean site and some issues we're having with Podbean, if you don't know, for years now, we have offered individual episode donations. Our show is completely crowdfunded, 100% crowdsourced. We have no sponsors. We have no ads. It is because of listeners like you that Now Playing keeps going. Thank you all who have supported us over the years. Sincerely, from my heart, I can't thank you enough that you enjoy our show enough to take your hard-earned money and give us a little of it so that we can keep going. Thank you sincerely. We've done our biannual donation drives since 2010, but in that time, we've cataloged a couple hundred bonus shows, and we know people who came to the show late were always like, I want to hear this older show, and we weren't able to offer it. Well, starting around 2016, we partnered with a site called Podbean, and we did a lot of research into them, and they seemed like the best site for us at that time. They allowed us to offer annual subscriptions where you could hear all of our shows. They allowed us to offer a patron-like monthly membership where you can get shows. And they offered us the ability to offer individual shows where you could pick the shows you wanted to hear from our back catalog of donation shows. Whether it was Child's Play, our very first donation series in 2010, or Evil Dead, or whatever our current donation drive was, we were able to offer those at episode by episode. You could go to Podbean, get those, and listen to them through the Podbean site or app. Now, I'm not going to recap the entire video I did before about Podbean. You can go watch that video on our YouTube channel if you want to know all of the nitty-gritty about what happened with Podbean. 10,000 foot level. They're not letting us offer individual episodes anymore. They have a new interface. Their new interface doesn't let us post any more shows individually. We just aren't allowed to do it. The older shows that we have posted are still out there, but the access to those is going to be taken away off of Podbean's website. As I understand it, they're still going to be allowing you to access episodes you've purchased previously on their app, but we don't like that as a limitation for our listeners. We got a lot of complaints from listeners about the Podbean app. And again, we weren't able to post any new episodes, no new donation shows. We've gotten a lot of feedback from people who got our Evil Dead series individually or our Indiana Jones series individually. They want to hear the review of Evil Dead Rise. They want to hear the review of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. They got 4 out of the 5 episodes in those cases. Podbean wasn't letting us post the 5th episode. We wanted to, but we couldn't. So we've spent the past couple of months working hard to find a new platform that would offer individual podcasts for a donation or purchase, where you can pick the episodes you want and not have to partake in a donation drive. It costs more money. It's a little bit more than if you did our donation drives and donated for packages of shows. If you pick them one at a time, it costs a little bit more, but you're able to get the shows you want going way back to 2010. So after looking into all of the options, we found one that is brand new, yet despite being new, we think it's the right choice. Patreon. We opened a Patreon a few years ago where people can donate $10 a month and get all of the patron exclusive reviews we've done, like Apocalypse Now and Platoon, Full Metal Jacket, The Adventures of Tintin, The Wizard, Enter the Dragon, The Last Dragon. There's over 80 individual reviews we've done for patrons for a $10 a month donation. And that's through Patreon. It's also through iTunes, Spotify, and we have it still on Podbean. But besides being the monthly support system, Patreon just offered a new digital store. It's a brand new offering, and we're one of the first podcasts to use it. We were able to get early access to it before it's available to everyone on the site. When it comes to crowd-funded projects like Now Playing, Patreon is the gold standard for support. We looked at them very seriously back in 2016 when we got Podbean, and they didn't offer things like their digital store back then. Patreon did a lot of stuff great, but they didn't seem perfect for podcasting back then. Since then, they've added a lot of features, including this digital store, and we are really happy. We've spent a lot of time putting every individual donation show we've ever done onto the new Patreon store. So all of our donation podcasts are there. Most are just $3.99, and most of them are well over an hour a piece. So if you compare that to what you pay for a 3-minute, 4-minute song, it's a great bargain per show, and you can actually get all of those shows. We posted them all in order of publication, donation shows and Easter egg shows, going back to our first donation drive in 2010. Yes, Evil Dead Rise is there, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is there. They're available individually. If you had gotten the previous episodes on Podbean one at a time, you can't get them on Podbean. Podbean doesn't let us, but you can get these 5th episodes now on the Patreon store. Plus, all of our old donation retrospectives. Alien, that is one of Stuart's favorite movie series of all time, and I know that's been a very popular retrospective series we did a long time ago back in 2012. Ghostbusters, as we prepare for this year's new Ghostbusters movie, you can go back and hear all of our old Ghostbusters reviews. Every Quentin Tarantino movie, including ones that he was tangentially involved in, like Natural Born Killers and True Romance. Jurassic Park series. The Jaws series, as we're reviewing new shark movies this spring as part of our donation drive. You can go back and hear where it all began with Stuart Brock and I reviewing the 4 Jaws films. The Child's Play retrospective. Paranormal Activity. The Matrix. Psycho. Planet of the Apes. Plus all the Easter egg shows we used to do before we did our monthly patron shows. Such cinematic classics like Disco Godfather, Zardoz, the Garbage Pail Kids movie, The Golden Child. Plus big hits like Top Gun 1 and 2. All of these shows are available now in our Patreon store. If you go to patreon.com/nowplayingpodcast, you can click on the store link at the top and see all of the episodes there. There are other ways to get the episodes. If you want the entire back catalog, there is a Patreon level for that, where you'll save a lot of money by having a monthly subscription as compared to buying each of these episodes one at a time, which will cost a little more. But this supports our show and allows us to give you the greatest access to these podcasts possible. If you have any questions, please email us at show@nowplayingpodcast.com. We are a few days behind, but about a 1-week turnaround on answers. We usually get to all of our emails on the weekends, so you can email us. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. We are a very small crew here making this show. Everybody pitches in. We all try to keep up as best we can. We have gotten a lot of emails lately about Indiana Jones. We're keeping up and catching up on all of those. Thank you for your patience, but if you have any questions about the Patreon store, let us know. Also, let Patreon know, because this is a brand new offering. If you have technical questions about how to get the shows, will they work with your Apple Podcasts app, anything like that, please direct to Patreon. If you email us, we're not going to have the answers. Patreon is offering the platform. We're just uploading the shows to it, so we'll refer you to Patreon for those answers. But thanks to Patreon for allowing us to be one of the first to use their digital store option. And thanks to you, the listeners. It's your passion that you want to hear these podcasts that we've heard. And we love hearing that passion from you. I mean, People are doing that meme from Futurama, shut up and take my money. They want to hear Dial of Destiny. They want to hear Evil Dead Rise. And we love that passion from our listeners so much. And we just haven't been able to offer it. It's not like we've enjoyed being withholding on those shows. We haven't. But now, the Patreon store, completely populated. And every week when we do a new donation show, that will be available there. Always going to be cheaper if you do our donation drives directly to us via PayPal. Find the details at nowplayingpodcast.com/donate. But if you want something from a previous donation drive, or you just want individual episodes, Patreon has them now all for you. Thank you for listening to our show. Thank you for supporting our show. Thank you for listening to me talk here and give you the latest updates about our new Patreon shop. And I'll be back soon as we review Insidious: The Red Door tomorrow for everyone on Totally Free Tuesday. And then the week after that, Mission Impossible, Oppenheimer coming soon. So many reviews that we are working on for you. And thank you for listening again. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon.